Hello, this is Life of a Diplomat and I'm Nouri Mengali. Today, our guest is the Ambassador of Germany to Kazakhstan, Monika Iwersen. During her posting, she has helped to facilitate several high-level political visits from Germany to Kazakhstan. But beyond official visits, Ambassador Iwersen has also been contributing to a deeper and more dynamic partnership between Germany and Kazakhstan. So what are Germany's key priorities in Kazakhstan today, and what strategic opportunities lie ahead for cooperation between two countries? Let's find out.
Yeah, this is actually my 5th year now in Kazakhstan. It was not the intention of becoming a diplomat. Kazakhstan is a very important supplier of oil for Germany. It's good to have, for example, a very strong and a very well-functioning middle corridor. So we are very interested in building this cooperation even further between Germany and Kazakhstan, between universities. I've been fortunate enough to travel a little bit in Kazakhstan as well, and there's so much to discover, so I would encourage Germans also to visit.
Madam Ambassador.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to meet you and welcome to the program Life of a Diplomat.
Thank you. Welcome to the German Embassy.
Thank you. Yes, let's proceed. A train journey across Germany or a road trip through Kazakhstan's vast landscapes?
Road trip through Kazakhstan.
Oh, great. German punctuality or the relaxed rhythm of the steppe?
German punctuality.
Yes, a plate of schnitzel or a bowl of beshbarmak?
That's a close competition. I would go for the beshbarmak, I think.
Great. A glass of German apple juice or a cup of kumis?
Apple juice.
Apple juice. Oktoberfest atmosphere or a Kazakh toy celebration?
Both.
Both, yeah. A bike ride through Berlin or horse riding in Kazakhstan?
If I'm very adventurous, horse riding in Kazakhstan. I've never done that.
Oh, that's great. A German winter with Christmas markets or a Kazakh spring with Nowruz?
That's tough. I would say the Nowruz celebration.
Oh, yeah. Goethe poetry or the wisdom of Abai?
Abai wisdom.
Madam Ambassador, thank you very much for sharing your time with us today. Let us start with Kazakh-German bilateral relations. They have been intensified through a series of high-level visits, including the visit of Frank-Walter Steinmeier to Kazakhstan, the visit of former Federal Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and the official visit of Kassym-Jomart Tokayev to Berlin.
Absolutely.
So, what does it speak to you about the level of cooperation between our countries and how this visit have shaped the current agenda for bilateral cooperation?
Yes, welcome to the German Embassy. I'm very happy to have you here. I would say that we've been fortunate over the past 4 years to have several high-level visits from Germany and to Germany, of course. We had the President, as you mentioned, we had the Chancellor here, the President of the Bundesrat, the second German parliamentary chamber, the Foreign Minister, former Foreign Minister. So we've really been very fortunate to have all these visits, but also, of course, outgoing important visits from Kazakhstan to Germany, the President, ministers, and others. So a Kazakh diplomat told me once that the level of, or the high level of visits is also an indication for the quality of relations. If that is true, I think we are fine, because we've had all these high-level visits.
We enjoyed all
and we've had an opportunity to meet, to have a political, economic dialogue in many other fora as well, but also between high-level representatives of the government. So I think they are important, and they are happening between Kazakhstan's visits between Kazakhstan and Germany.
Yeah, and in terms of, addressing the current agenda of this cooperation, how this visit also provides the strategic outline for the current and future. let's say, directions for this cooperation, and what are these directions right now?
Yes, yeah. I think there are several levels, I would say, of what visits can accomplish, bilateral visits. One, of course, is the personal element, that you get to know each other better if you meet face to face. Let's look at the two presidents. President Tokayev and President Steinmeier, they have known each other since they were both foreign ministers. So by now, this is a very a relationship that has been existing over many years, and others also have an opportunity to meet with their counterparts to have a more personal relationship, which makes it easier then also to talk about our bilateral and mutual interests and what we can do together to cooperate. So I think that's one level. Secondly, of course, whenever you have meetings at high level, it helps to move forward certain projects, certain agreements maybe that have been negotiated for a while, but now that the visit is coming, there's a certain urgency to get things done and finished. So that sometimes helps to get things over the hump, so to speak, to get them done.
Yeah, talking about priorities, let's talk about priorities. What are they in terms of, economic cooperation between the countries?
Several fields, I would say, different areas. There's a lot of cooperation going on in the energy sector, I would say, on one hand. The classical fossil fuels. Kazakhstan is a very important supplier of oil for Germany, has been a reliable supplier for many years, and we are very grateful for that, particularly if you look at the current state of affairs in the world. These partnerships for us are very important. On the other hand, we also have in the energy sector one of German company here, which is running a solar power plant also. So we are also working together on renewable energies. I think we can do more in that way. Siemens Energy, a German important German company, for example, is also very much working on feeding renewable energies into the normal grid, into the system. That's a very important aspect of cooperation on energy. And if I mention renewable energies or cleaner energies, we also hope that the new gas-powered heating plant in Almaty will be finished soon. Siemens Energy also, they are supplying important parts for that plant. And we hope and we believe that it will make a major contribution to improving, for example, the air quality in Almaty once it is finished.
What sectors would be of the most interest, apart from, of course, energy, about agriculture? What else should be,
you already mentioned a few. Yes, I think anything that could, make the economy greener, that could reduce emissions, maybe, and also the water sector, I would say, is one that is very important. How do you save water through modern technologies in order to save resources or have enough resources for? I think because Kazakhstan will need even more water in the future, and at the same time, resources are getting smaller, I would say, and so I think there's some expertise that we, of course, and others, but also our companies could contribute. That's, I think, something I mentioned. Critical raw materials, of course, and there are many companies who are, in principle, interested in either cooperating with Kazakhstan on projects or selling things or developing their activities here. And we have to see in every individual case how it fits and what makes sense.
Madam Ambassador, you have now spent considerable time living and working in Kazakhstan. So how have your impressions of the country evolved since your arrival? And what was the first impression, by the way?
Yeah, this is actually my 5th year now in Kazakhstan, and I'm loving it. I enjoy it very much. And well, the impression from the get-go was that this was a very open, very hospitable country, very open to welcoming foreigners and Germans in particular. And that has only been confirmed over time. Whenever you go somewhere, meet people, they're always very open, very interested in learning about about Germany or talking about Kazakhstan and about how things are here. What I love particularly, of course, are the traditions, from the food to the traditions which come out, for example, in Nowruz during the celebrations with clothes and the instruments, the music. I love that very much.
Yeah. Let's talk about your professional path, your career in diplomacy. What motivated you to pursue this particular career?
I would say my path to diplomacy was not a straight one. When I finished school, it was not the intention of becoming a diplomat, because in my family we do not have diplomats, so we do not have like a role model. So diplomats, my family mostly are teachers, so that's that was more or less something that my parents would have liked me to do. But I like languages, so I started studying languages, and I studied to become an interpreter, a translator, which I did. But during the process, I found that it is for me, to be very interesting to live abroad for a while. I spent a year in the United States to, improve the English, and then I spent a semester in Geneva, where they speak French, mostly for the French, to work on that a bit more. And this time abroad sort of impacted me in that I liked it. I said I like to, spend more time in foreign countries, not just as a tourist, but to actually live there and to represent Germany, because in the US you got many questions about Germany, and I said, it's sort of fun to explain, how Germany, and on the other hand, to learn more about the country where you are. So that was the beginning, I would say, of an interest, which I had never had when I started studying. It was not on my radar.
How does Germany sees the potential of this region and potential of Kazakhstan in terms of logistics and being, transit hub for this region? We're talking about connectivity projects. So, what is your perspective on that?
Well, I think that with the way we see geopolitical developments going, it's good to have, for example, a very strong and a very well-functioning middle corridor. And I know there are a lot of efforts being put into that from the side of the European Union, Kazakhstan, China, of course, and Azerbaijan, for example, to make sure that this corridor becomes even faster, and that the processes like the customs procedures and everything you need are also faster, because right now our companies are telling us, well, it's good to have the middle corridor, but it takes longer, and time is money, of course, for companies, if you talk about transport, and it's more expensive at the moment. Some even have resorted to going by plane, because they say it's almost as expensive, and not a big difference, and it goes much faster. So I think there's work to be done here, but we are very much in favor of building this, jointly building this middle corridor into something that we can then really use to transport and to do goods in both directions, by the way, and not just to China, but also to Central Asia, and from Central Asia to Europe.
To Europe, yes. And I think from the EU side particularly, there is a lot of, interest, a lot of, kind of investments in terms of, time and efforts and energy and, of course, money as well. So, Germany is obviously the EU member. It's one of the strongest EU members. How do you see its collaboration with Central Asia and within this EU framework?
In the EU framework, I think there are lots of initiatives going on as well, also in the area of energy and of green economy.
So the priorities might be similar.
Priorities are quite similar, and that helps, of course. So if they have the EBRD, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, financing some of those measures to enable the middle corridor to flourish, then that's, I think, a very good and positive thing. There's also the joint Team Europe water initiative now. I think and critical raw materials, batteries and so on. So I think our priorities are very much aligned with what the European Union does.
Let's talk about education, like a soft power nowadays. It's also Germany is a big destination for Kazakhstan students, and we are talking not about just academic and student exchange, but also about dual vocational training. So how do you think it can contribute to the cooperation, and what's the potential for this field of,
Well, I'm very happy you're asking that, because I also find that when I go to universities, talk to students here, which I love to do because it's always interesting to hear their questions, their ideas, and many of them are asking about opportunities to study in Germany, for example, and they exist even sometimes on scholarships, but also many are going privately. I'm always happy if I meet a student who tells me, well, I have the opportunity to go and study in a university in Germany, of short term or long term. It's fine. I think it's so important because from personal experience, I know that when you go to a country, you not only take the knowledge, which is important, but you also learn about a culture, you learn about a country. So we are very interested in building this cooperation even further between Germany and Kazakhstan, between universities. And
universities,
universities are getting more interested in Germany also.
And what experience were the most formative in your professional journey, let's say?
I would say in terms of events, when I entered the Foreign Service in 1989, that was a few months before the wall came down in Berlin. And then German reunification happened. That was definitely impacted us as young diplomats very much, because we and I, in my lifetime, did not expect that to happen. I mean, it was, and of course, Central Asia became independent shortly after that, but first it was very impactful. Also, moving the capital from Bonn to Berlin at the time, we were very symbolic at the time. That was very important.
And what do you find most rewarding about representing Germany here in Kazakhstan?
Well, what I find very rewarding, and I have to say, it's easy to be a German ambassador in Kazakhstan, easy in terms of you're welcome when you come here from the beginning. I mean, when you meet people, they are very open for dialogue, they are open to deepen cooperation, they usually have had a good opinion or a good experience with Germany. And I have to mention, of course, that is also very much due to the ethnic Germans who are living in Kazakhstan still. A number of them left after independence, but there are still a lot of them here. And many Kazakhs tell me those were the first Germans they met in school, in the workplace, and so on.
Yeah, it was very natural.
Yes, so even without traveling to Germany, you had an idea, and apparently a very positive one, which I'm very happy about. And so that, I think, opens doors for us as well when we come as Germans here, that people have the impression they know us a little bit already, and that helps a lot as a bridge. And this openness and this friendliness, hospitality, as I mentioned, is definitely something that makes it very, very easy to work here.
And to wrap up our interview today, Madam Ambassador, what would be your message to the people of Kazakhstan about the current and future avenues of cooperation, bilateral cooperation, and jointly implemented projects?
Well, thank you very much for this question. I think my message would be that Kazakhstan is a fantastic country, really, if you come to get to know it a bit more. I've been fortunate enough to travel a little bit in Kazakhstan as well, and there's so much to discover. So I would encourage Germans also to visit and, get a personal feeling for the country. So Kazakhstan is really a very important and very good partner for Germany for many years now, and we see a lot of potential for further developing this cooperation, not just economically, of course there are many areas that we talked about them, but also from an academic, from an educational standpoint. I would encourage Kazakh young people to study in Germany if they have the opportunity, to visit Germany and to learn more about us, and also to learn German, which means we need more Kazakh German teachers.
Yeah, that's a very great tone to to close the interview. Thank you very much again
Thank you.
for your time with us
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.